Hello, welcome to Two Terrapins, and I'm about to go fishing despite the fact that I know nothing about fishing. So I really love the outdoors, really love nature, and I want to get started enjoying it. So I started this channel mainly because I wanted to focus on fishing, but then also really focus on anything outdoorsy, doing anything out hiking, enjoying nature, whatever it can be, but really focusing on fishing. And as I said earlier, I have no idea how to fish. The last time I went fishing, I was probably like 4 years old. And so it's a hobby I want to pick up and hopefully get good at. Hopefully catch some fish. The reason I'm starting the channel too is because what I've noticed, a lot of the fishing YouTube channels, they are very not beginner friendly. They really focus on, having this kind of built up knowledge on how to fish. And so this is just going to be kind of a video journey of my progress of trying to fish and doing different things outdoors. So come along on the journey and welcome to Two Terrapins. All right, so this is how I'm going to start my journey with two spinning reels. One's loose, the other one's Abu Garcia. The idea, one's primarily going to be for frogs and top bait. The other one's going to be for rigs, wacky rig, Texas rig, and see where it goes. Hopefully we'll catch some fish on these two. Eventually I'll try, a bait caster and just see where it goes. I started my day early on this dock where I threw my first cast in many years. I was filled with anticipation as when I walked up, I saw a huge alligator gar swim right by. The days before my trip, a large storm came through, and as you can see, it significantly flooded the area, but I had high hopes in catching a fish here. Using a Texas rig on some plastic sparkle worms, I cast, but ultimately, this location was a total bust. After leaving the flooded walkway, I came to another location that was somewhat in the shade and looked like a place where I would want to hang out if I was a fish. Unfortunately, just as life looks like an easy street, there is danger at the door. As mentioned, I'm a complete beginner when it comes to fishing, and I totally tangled up my line while using my top bait. I want to make these videos as authentic as possible, as most fishing YouTubers seem to automatically catch fish with almost every single cast. This can set unrealistic goals for new fishers such as myself. In reality, for me at this point, I had been on the water for a few hours with no bites. However, I did catch a few fish laughing at me. By this part of the day, it was in the mid-90s and I was starting to feel very discouraged. I had been out here for several hours with only a few bites using my frog, so I decided to call it for the day, head back home, regroup, and do a little bit more research. So that first attempt was no good. Didn't catch anything, had a few bites, saw a few fish, but didn't catch anything. So I wanted to do a little bit more research, see if I could find anything that might make my trip a little bit more successful. And so I'm just going to show you what I picked up, and we're going to go back and see if that makes any changes. So most of the bites that I had on my last fishing trip were all from using my frog. And so looking up online, it looks like most people who use frogs also use braid. So I got some braid here, 10-pound strength. Looks like the major advantage as opposed to mono that I've seen online is just mainly for the fact that it will float when using a frog. And so we'll see how this works out. Also, I got a jig head with these trick worms and the pumpkin green color. Got these, looked like a lot of people has had a lot of success with this trick worm, especially with this pumpkin green color. And so I'm gonna try this out as opposed to the stick worm, blue stick worm that I used last time. All right, so I'm gonna try to do a shaky head right here. So I got my shaky head hook, and then that's the pumpkin green trick worm. It looks pretty straightforward online. Hopefully this will give me some good results, but just go through the head, about 1/4 of an inch, come back down, and then you just go all the way up to this stopper that you can see right up there, and then pull it straight around, kind of like a Texas rig, and then you just pull the worm through. You might have to pull it together just a little bit, then have the hook come out, and then just make it weedless, just pop it back through, and then you have your shaky head. I started my next day fishing on my frog, and it was a chilly and windy day as it had rained the previous evening, so I wasn't sure how the fish were going to react. So I decided to move locations and go somewhere where those chilly winds don't blow. After changing locations again, I was just about ready to head out. So I went to the furthest edges of this 230-acre lake and walked a few miles and was met with this beautiful hike that raised my spirits and reminded me of one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs, Sugar and Magnolia, and in particular the lyrics, "Blossoms blooming, heads all empty, and I don't care." I started to walk through the tall trees, going where the wind goes, and I found a beautiful spot to finish my day. Another hour just before heading home, I cast one last time and caught my first fish. A small bass for sure, but big enough to motivate me to begin this journey. Another lyric from the Grateful Dead that I love is, "You ain't gonna learn what you don't want to know." And I want to improve and enjoy fishing, so follow along with me as I continue my journey into the great outdoors. And to my little fish buddy, may the four winds bring you safely home. Till next time.